Good morning, good evening, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you might be doing. We wish to welcome you to the Silverlight Show. The Silverlight shines to illuminate that which lies hidden in darkness. For those of you tuning in for self-sufficiency again today, we welcome you in. So, I finally went and did it. Went out, laid out some money on two very important vats. What are they full of? This one is full of beer, or at least what will be beer in about a month. This is the one that will be bottling it. And it comes with all sorts of other cool gadgets. This little thing that helps pop the bottle top on top of the bottle so I can bottle all this up and have a good time later. Because I realized I'm going to save quite a bit of money. Now, that's not saying I drink a lot. Truth is, I don't. But this pail here, roughly, is going to be about 48 bottles of beer. The ingredients, raw, if I just come straight in, buy one, don't try to get a group discount or anything like that, for 48 bottles of beer is about $56. A little more than $1 a beer, and I'm sure I can get that down with a little bit of practice. My first batch might be good, might not be, but the Silverlight Pilsner is inside. I figure if I keep doing this every 2 weeks and fill up enough bottles, I can save hundreds, if not thousands, in a year. 48 bottles. The price for that would be about $100 to buy from the store. So right away you can see I'm saving money. The problem is, and this is something I've forgotten, this is what I really want to talk about, is startup costs. There was a startup cost. I bought a kit. It comes with all sorts of great things like, what do you call this thing again? A siphon, which you'll use to get the beer out of here into the canning vat. Because I priced it out, and to buy it individually, yeah, it would have been pretty expensive. But I had a kit, and I said to myself, might as well save myself some money again. And that's the main point of self-sufficiency, having things around that you wouldn't have otherwise. And being able to produce it yourself cheaper. Let's be honest, it's cheaper to make hamburger at home than to buy one at McDonald's or Burger King or Wendy's. But we're used to these conveniences in life of being able to go and grab a burger. And yes, there's some days you don't feel like it. I have another plan for this area in general, where I'm going to set up some shrimp tanks. Not shrimp just to look at, I mean shrimp where you can breed them and eat them. Again, it's a renewable resource. The shrimp have babies, you pump back them the original tank, let them grow up, let them out, and then you harvest the ones that are ready to done and you can eat it. Self-sufficiency. Now, the setup I'm looking at right now would be about $1,000. I'm sure I can get that down if I'm a little bit creative. But knowing I would have food, water, and a little something to wash it down with would all be pretty nice. I do have the bizarre thought of one day converting this into a proper brewery, microbrewery, and maybe even getting whatever license and permits it requires to sell. If I go through with the shrimp, it will definitely be with the intention to sell them. So that means I would have to have a regular amount coming in and out. To do that would require a setup that would be able to produce a reliable amount. This is why I'm saying $1,000. The beer setup was a couple hundred. It'll be a little more by the time I buy more ingredients and I need more bottles and this, that, the other thing. And this is really why more people don't do things themselves, why more people don't own businesses, is startup costs. Now again, right now this is just an experiment. I have the crazy idea one day it might become a business, but right now It's an experiment. Let's see if I like it enough. Then maybe my friends will like it. And then I can start looking at licenses and how to boost mass production and stuff like that. Same with the shrimp. I'm looking at a fairly decent turnover so my family can eat shrimp relatively regularly, mercury free, all raised locally, organic, all that sort of stuff. And it won't be cheap. I have the space, I have the electrical outlets available, I have everything possible, but it's the amount of money available going in. Now, that may become possible in a little bit, but it's a choice of the space. You see, I'm lucky that I have this extra room. And to be honest, the reason I'm thinking about being a brewery, being a shrimp hatchery, bringing all this sort of stuff, is while it's all set up to be a beautiful tenant area, I just don't think I want to get involved in that whole landlord-tenant relationship thing. Yes, when it works out, it's wonderful, but there's far too many horror stories out there. And I don't want to be in one, and I don't want to be around one. Ultimately, this is my place. I love it, and to have somebody else ruin it would be terrible. Again, I have the startup enough to buy some property, but I want to use it smarter than just saying, I have a basement apartment. Because that's not always the answer. It's an easy way to do things. Again, I'd still need to spend money as startup, but the complications, in my opinion, are too much. But start thinking things like that. I was on the Facebook Marketplace the other day, and I was astonished, just flabbergasted with the amount of money people were charging for food. And admittedly, I was looking at crab's legs because on occasion I've seen deals there where you can get, lobster tail, crab legs, stuff like that. And, for $100 you could eat like a king for a little bit. But I clicked on this one and it had a seafood tray, which was, how to put this best, a medium-sized aluminum cake tin filled with mussels, clams, corn, I think maybe one shrimp. For $45? The ingredients are $10 in the store at best. And $45 they're charging. 48 bottles of beer. Generally you're looking at close to $100 to get that much beer. It's all a matter of how you sell it. Again, the beer will not be for sale unless I get the licensing because I don't mess with the government, not in that way. I don't mess with the government in stupid ways. I do it in smart ways. But start thinking about what you have in your home that you can change into income. Because people are willing to pay $45 for a tiny bit of seafood, and when I say tiny, I mean tiny. What else are they willing to pay money for? And people are still lazy. Even after the pandemic, when we had a year and a half to sit at home and perfect our skills, the fact is, most people wasted it watching YouTube videos, playing video games, doing whatever it is they do in their spare time. Not many people learn practical skills. Self-sufficiency. I have said it before, and I will say it again. You will never, ever regret being self-sufficient. Now, I'm not truly self-sufficient with this. I still do need to order specialized ingredients. Because I'm a bit of a snob, I ordered the Pilsner hops and stuff from the Czech Republic. That's only because I've been to Pilsen in the Czech Republic and had their beer, and I think it's rather good. The shrimp, if I went into that, I wouldn't just be getting local freshwater shrimp. I'd be trying to get something a little nicer. And when it comes to pricing it, yes, I would price it at a decent price. Enough that I'm making my money back, but also so that people could afford it. And that's the killer. You spend so much money on the setup. Like I said, this stuff was not cheap. It's going to save me money, and then maybe it'll make me money. In time. once all things have reached their fullness. But until then, I really encourage each and every one of you to look around your house and see what you can be self-sufficient in. Maybe you're good at carpentry, maybe you're a mechanic, maybe you're good at fixing computers. Who knows? Everybody's good at something. But like I said, in the future, we will not be able to depend on companies in the corporate world for jobs. So what is something you can do that your next door neighbor can't, that maybe you can trade and get labor in exchange for labor? Because the labor market is always the future. But the question is, what skills can you bring? We wish to thank you for joining us on the Silverlight Show today. Remember, self-sufficiency is the key, but community is also important. So if you give me a like, share, subscribe if you're not a member of the channel, that would help out a lot. Thank you very much for listening, and we hope you have a great day.